Alright, so 2-minute Tanya tidbit for today. So in yesterday's Tanya, we explained the idea of klipas noga, which is an intermediary klipa, which is not tied down to kedusha, to holiness, or tied down to the shalosh klipas of Teves, to the total impurity. Rather, it's in between and could go either way. As when a person uses eating or something like that in order to be able to serve God, it becomes totally kedusha. And in today's Tanya, we explained that when someone uses the klipas noga, just because, as a person decides that he wants to eat meat or drink wine because he enjoys it, just being gluttonous, which comes from, like we said in the first chapter of Tanya, the idea of the element of water in a person, which is the idea of enjoyment. So when a person uses meat and wine, or in general food or anything in this physical world, just for his own physical enjoyment, those things go down to klipa for a little bit of time in a way of shalosh klipas hatmeis. They're totally impure. However, since they are originally permissible foods, they're able to return to godliness as soon as the person decides to once again serve God. And when he uses that energy to be able to serve God, and he comes back to serving God, that energy is able to be fully refined once again and go to the world of Kedusha. As it's called mutar, it's something which is permissible. As the word mutar means untied. It's not tied down to klipa, even though it goes there temporarily when it's eaten with the wrong intentions or without the right intentions, but it's able to be refined because it's not tied down to klipa. As opposed to something which is asur means that it's tied. It's stuck in the hands of klipa. And therefore, if somebody eats something in order, or something which is not kosher, or he does it in a way to be able to go against God, or a sin, that actually is tied down to the hands of klipa. And therefore, that energy cannot be elevated no matter what he does. And it has to wait till the times of Mashiach. As when Mashiach comes, God will remove all impurity from the world, and therefore that food will be fully elevated. And that's the idea of the times of Mashiach, where it says, V'esruach atoma aver menarat Hashem will remove all impurity from the land. The other way that this is able to be refined, even though we said in general it can't be, is if a person comes to a huge level of tshuva. A tshuva from such a love that a person has for God, a burning fire, with thirst that he's yearning to be next to God, that can also elevate this. And that's the idea of a high level of tshuva, upon which it says that zdenes nasu like kazachias, that the sins are turned into merits. As through these sins, he ended up reaching a much higher level. And that's what we say, Baalei tshuva, b'makim she'baalei tshuva imdim tzadikim eina michilim lamed ba, that the level which a Baal tshuva stands on, tzaddik is not able to stand on, because it's a very high level when he does this high level of tshuva. However, if he doesn't get to do this tshuva, then those things are tied down to klipa, and they're stuck in the hands of klipa until he will be able to elevate it. See you next time.